I had been with Oliver for 3 years, thinking we would eventually get our happy ending, but at a party I wasn't invited to, he held another young woman in his arms and flatly denied our relationship. Marry an actress? Come on, even if I lost my mind. Would my mom ever let someone like her into our family? My family only acknowledges one match worthy of us in the whole capital, the family of Miranda. But I knew something he didn't. The heiress of the prestigious Miranda's family would never marry him. Because the family of Miranda, a century-old aristocratic clan, are powerful and highly respected. The current head of the family dotes on his wife like she's royalty. And they only have one daughter. That daughter is me. Chapter 1. The farce unfolded on Oliver's 27th birthday. I told him I had filming and couldn't make it, but in truth, I'd taken time off to pick up the Vacheron Constantin watch he'd been eyeing for months. I wanted to surprise him. As I walked into the private room, I caught someone asking, "You've been with Alice for 3 years now, when are you two getting married?" I quietly held my breath, waiting for his answer. What he said next chilled me to the bone. For a moment, the room went silent. My brain felt like it had short-circuited. "You really think you could marry the heiress?" Oliver chuckled, his arms still wrapped around that girl. "Pretty close. Miranda never shows her face. What if she's ugly? She's all right looking, but this is a business marriage. Whoever marries into Miranda's family can basically do whatever they want in Beijing. Who cares about looks? And Alice? What about her?" Oliver took a lazy drag from the cigarette the girl lit for him. "If Miranda's okay with it, then Alice stays. If she's not, we break up. Simple. Man, you're trying to have both beauty and the empire." Huh? That was all I could take. I turned and walked away. I had never revealed to him that I was Miranda. Did he have psychic powers or something? To figure I was just all right looking? I was wrong, so wrong. I should have stayed in the studio, working on my script, not standing here, watching a twisted performance where I played both the joke and the fool. Chapter 2. Since I was little, I understood one thing. Being born into a family like mine makes it hard to see yourself objectively, because the labels attached to me were far too dazzling. So whether it was me or the people around me, most only remembered me as the daughter of the rich family, not as Miranda. So I made 2 bets with my father. The first, that I could make it big in the entertainment industry without relying on the family's name. The second, that even if Oliver didn't know who I really was, he'd still want to be with me for who I am. Over the years, there were some bumps along the way, but most people I met were kind. I earned a reputation as a solid, respected actress, and up until today, I genuinely believed Oliver loved me. Suddenly, I remembered that weird call from my dad a few days ago. "Sweetheart, how's it going with that young boyfriend of yours?" I was lying in my hotel room reading a script and casually replied, "We're good. When are you planning to meet each other's parents?" "Not in a rush. We'll figure it out together." He paused for 2 minutes, then carefully said, "I don't know, he doesn't seem that great to me. Doesn't really match up to you." I actually defended Oliver. "He's just misunderstood. He's actually quite capable." "Heh, well, come back and meet someone else. A family has taken a liking to you. They went through several uncles and elders just to arrange a match. They're insisting on marrying their son to you." I thought he was joking and laughed. "Don't mess with me," but he just repeated, "Heh." Now I know exactly what that "heh" meant. I looked at the Vacheron Constantin watch in my hand. That one watch had cost me half of an entire drama's paycheck. I chuckled softly, then called my assistant to come pick me up. She looked shocked when I got in the car. I tossed the watch onto the passenger seat. "Here you go, babe. If you don't like it, sell it for cash." Chapter 3. The next day, I returned to the set. Just past noon, Oliver called. He was probably just waking up with a hangover. His voice was hoarse. "Babe, you've been filming for 2 months. When are you coming back? It was my birthday yesterday. They brought you up, and I started missing you even more. And you didn't even wish me happy birthday." I swallowed the nausea and asked calmly, "Didn't you have a great time?" Oliver laughed. "How could I, without you? Those idiots can't hold their liquor, kept calling me dad all night. Boring as hell. I missed you. You really want me back?" He paused. "What do you mean?" I sighed. "I wrap up filming next week." Oliver didn't notice the chill in my tone. Great! When you're done, we'll celebrate properly. I laughed softly. Sure. Our set was just outside the capital, only 3 hours away from where Oliver lived, and he'd never visited. Not even once. I should have seen it sooner. I was never important to him. So all his so-called longing? It never even beat out a 3-hour drive. Chapter 4. A week later. Filming officially wrapped. The director brought flowers to see me off, and many fans were waiting for me outside the set. The moment I saw them, the cloud hanging over me for the past week finally lifted a bit. You can't let the people who love you down, just because someone who doesn't love you broke your heart. I went to sign autographs and take photos. It wasn't until I got in the car that I asked my assistant, Roma, about the progress. Over the past week, she had already cleared out all of my belongings from Oliver's apartment. As for the gifts he gave me, no matter how big or small, I didn't take a single one. The whole thing made quite a stir, and yet Oliver never even noticed. Apparently, when I wasn't there, he barely came back to that apartment either. Funny how I was the only one who ever considered it home. Roma had been with me long enough to finally ask, Alice, what happened between you two? I was blind, I said. Roma blinked, confused. Huh? I smiled. Now I see everything clearly. As soon as I got back to the capital, Oliver started planning a wrap party for me, thinking some things were better said in person. I agreed to go, but just as I got into the car, before I even had a good look at his annoying face, he pulled a silk scarf over my eyes. He sounded excited. I prepared a surprise for you. Once upon a time, I would have been thrilled. Now, I felt nothing. The night breeze was soft, a little damp. I followed him up a few steps, and the scent of sweet wine grew stronger. When the blindfold was lifted, Oliver shouted, Surprise! My eyes adjusted to the lights, and that's when I saw where we were. A luxury yacht. Right in front of me was a white BMW sports car. Surrounding it were balloons, lights, and an elaborately decorated setup. All of his friends were there too. Men and women, many of them the same ones from the private room that night. Oliver leaned into my ear and whispered, Babe, this is your wrap party gift from me. His buddy Hudson hooted. First time I've seen Oliver put in so much effort for a girl. He eyed the car and clicked his tongue. This had to be ordered way in advance. Huh? The women they brought along looked at me with obvious envy. Oliver, clearly pleased with the attention, turned to me expectantly. You like it? I do. Then how are you going to reward me? I smiled. Your reward is that you can take it back. Oliver's face froze. I struck while the iron was hot. Let's break up. The moment those words left my mouth, I finally felt like I could breathe again. The fuck? Alice? What's that supposed to mean? I was about to explain when Oliver snapped, pure fury on his face. You dare break up with me? Who the hell do you think you are? When his hand pinched my chin so hard it hurt, I realized he didn't care whether I left him. What he cared about was that I did it here, in front of everyone, that I embarrassed him. People around us rushed to intervene. Oliver, don't hit her. Maybe it's all a misunderstanding? Oliver flung my face aside with brute force, fuming. You think I don't have options? You're so replaceable. If you don't want it, leave. Just leave. Don't ever let me see your face again. All right. I picked up my bag and walked off. From behind, Oliver shouted, Alice, you're going to regret what you did tonight. I didn't even turn around. Not a chance. Chapter 5. Over the years, Oliver's social circle occasionally overlapped with mine, so it wasn't long before I heard he had someone new by his side. It was that same young actress I'd seen in his arms in the private room last time. Her name was Lily. Oliver was generous with her, lavish with cash, designer brands, and connections. He even gave her the BMW that was originally meant for me. Just a few days later, I ran into her on the set of a magazine shoot. She was young and pretty, with a pair of sparkling, expressive eyes. Lily didn't waste time. I'm with Oliver now. I didn't even look up. Congrats. She kept sizing me up, like she was trying to figure me out. Didn't expect an artsy actress like you to also rely on a sugar daddy. Guess those rumors online weren't fake after all. I'm not backed by any sugar daddy. Whatever. Lily shrugged. Oliver and I have a transactional relationship. I know exactly what kind of guy he is. He knew you were shooting a cover today, so he had them slot me in for an inside feature. Just to mess with you. They're even betting you won't be able to stay away from him, that seeing him with someone else will make you crack within a week. But I'm not stupid enough to go up against a senior like you. I mean, if he takes you back and throws me some hush money to disappear, I'm cool with that too. I gave a cold chuckle. Lily added with a straight face. Guys like him, what else do they have besides money? Might as well milk it. I waved her off. Then enjoy the milking. Her smile faltered. Come on. We're all selling something. Why pretend you're any better? Chapter 6. Truth be told, plenty of people around Oliver had always thought I was with him for the money. But first of all, I was never short on money. And second, when I first liked him, I didn't even know who he was. Back then, I had just told my dad that I'd make it on my own. Days later, I got rejected from several auditions. The reason was always the same. Pretty face, decent acting, but no fame, no background, and most importantly, no one backing me. To let off steam, I'd started throwing myself into extreme sports. That's how I ended up skydiving a lot during that period. And it was on one of those helicopters that I first met Oliver. He was standing at the cabin door, sharp features, wind-swept hair, flashing a reckless grin at the foreign coach. My life is a party. The coach gave him a big thumbs up. Cool. In that moment, Oliver was so dazzling. I couldn't see anyone else. Later, we crossed paths again at a charity gala streamed on a video platform. By then, I'd already acted in 2 dramas. I wasn't a huge star, but I was getting noticed. That kind of event was a playground for fame and fortune. Just one round with a champagne flute in hand, and you could meet a dozen powerful people. I wasn't the center of attention. After standing for a while, I got tired and sat in the corner to eat cake. And to my surprise, Oliver walked over. He smiled at me. I've seen you before, but not on TV. We both remembered. At 3,000 feet above ground. This place is so boring, he said. I looked at him, surprised. You think it's boring too? It's boring. You add a ton of people on WeChat, and they just become digital corpses in your contacts. You dust them off during the holidays, then shove them back into oblivion, but they can still see your moments. So even posting something becomes a calculated risk. I couldn't help but laugh. Oliver turned back to look at me, eyes lighting up. Let's sneak out and have some fun? The word sneak felt oddly refreshing coming from him. The daytime wind had blown the clouds away, leaving the night calm and full of stars. Wrapped in Oliver's coat, I sat in the convertible, watching the stars and breathing in the salty sea breeze. He looked at me and smiled, placing a soft kiss on my forehead. We really did have some happy times. He supported my career. As I grew more popular, our relationship became more solid. I truly believed we would go the distance. Chapter 7. During a break from work, I went home for a visit. The estate, spanning thousands of square meters, was designed in the style of Suzhou Gardens, my mom's taste. Pavilions, bridges over water, and a charming classical vibe. To celebrate my return, my mom wore a silk qipao and a fine jade bracelet on her wrist, happily helping the housekeepers prepare all my favorite dishes. While she was busy, my dad took the chance to ask me, "So, how are things with that boy?" "We broke up." "Humph. Don't start with that humph. I already know everything." He slammed his teacup down. "What a bastard. Dating you while sending people to propose a marriage alliance with our family? What's he been training since childhood? Ballet? So good at splitting his damn legs." Suddenly, a wave of grievance hit me, and my eyes started to sting. Years of fighting on my own made me good at swallowing discomfort. My first instinct was always to tough it out, but in front of my dad, I just couldn't hold the tears back. He noticed my expression and patted my shoulder. "It's okay, sweetheart. You didn't do anything wrong. You've worked your way up with your own strength. Your mom and I have already decided, when I'm too old to handle things, we'll hand the family business over to professional managers. You just do what makes you happy. If you meet someone you like, date them. If not, just enjoy your life. You're not meant to suffer in this life." Eyes wet, I looked up at my mom. standing nearby with concern in her eyes. A warmth bloomed in my chest. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. My dad saw the chance to bargain. When you were a kid, we kept you out of the public eye to protect you. When you grew up, you insisted on hiding our connection. Other people go to galas with their daughters or sons. I've always been a little jealous. I sniffled. Dad, let's throw you a proper birthday party this year. He beamed. All right, it's about time our girl got to shine a little. Chapter 8. A lot of my resources had been redirected, all handed to Lily. No need to guess who was behind it. After I blocked Oliver, he started calling my assistant. Roma, had enough of your tantrum yet? His tone was casual and condescending. Just apologize, and all of that will still be yours. I scoffed coldly. Screw you. Oliver's breathing hitched with rage. All right then, let's see how long you can keep this tough act up. That very same day, gossip exploded online, news that Oliver and I had broken up, and that my fairy tale heiress dream had come crashing down. We'd never gone out of our way to hide our relationship, and had even been photographed together a few times, but we never made an official statement, and the buzz eventually faded. Now it was all dug back up. Gossip blogs went into overdrive, spinning the story. They claimed most of the good projects I got had been passed to someone else, that I wasn't all that irreplaceable as the so-called best actress in waiting. Without backing, I'd be finished in a heartbeat. The online space turned toxic real fast. Aside from the obvious bot accounts pushing the narrative, fans of rival actresses jumped in to kick me while I was down. So much for hard work. Turns out she had a sugar daddy all along. Her fans really took the biggest slap in the face. All that talk about pure talent, ha. This is why you should never genuinely root for celebs. They act like goddesses on camera, but God knows what they're doing behind the scenes. Just then, my agent came looking for me. You were hoping to land the lead role in Far From Home, right? My gut told me something was wrong. Sure enough, she sighed. It wasn't a problem before, but now, with all this bad press, the investors are reconsidering. Still, don't panic just yet. Nestor's always liked you. He's one of the executive producers for Far From Home. There's a dinner tonight. If you go and play nice with him, things might turn around. I clenched my fists. What's that supposed to mean? She lit a cigarette and chuckled. You've been in this industry long enough. Don't tell me you're still that naive. Plenty of actresses got where they are like this. You had it easy because someone was protecting you. Now you don't. For the first time, I was shaking with anger. I thought I could end things with Oliver cleanly. I never planned on dragging it out or making a scene, but I never imagined he'd stoop this low. Fine. If that's how he wants to play, he can't blame me for being ruthless. Sure, it's just for dinner, right? I'll go. Then I made a call to Oscar. Heard Nestor's bidding on one of your family's projects? Nestor who? Oscar had no idea who I was talking about. It took his secretary some digging to figure it out. Turns out it was just a small deal under their company's umbrella. No wonder I hadn't heard of it. That kind of pocket change never reaches my desk. Well, now it has. Nestor tried to pressure me into sleeping with him. Will you come to dinner with me tonight? Oscar nearly choked on his tea. Wait, who the hell tried to sleep with who? I'll explain later. Are you coming or not? Oscar sounded way too amused. Hell yeah, I'm in. That night, Roma dropped me off at the hotel suite. I caught the worry in her eyes and gave her hand a reassuring pat. Right then, Oliver called her again. His voice on speaker sounded smug and confident. My guys are waiting outside. If you regret it, come out and get in the car. I chuckled. Take your guys and get lost. Even if you hang yourself in front of me, I still won't get in that car. Oliver nearly blew a fuse, but I hung up before he could say another word. When I walked in, the man seated at the head of the table looked up at me. Oscar, sharply dressed, features clean and angular, the kind of face that could land a luxury ad campaign. His smile didn't reach his eyes, except for the moment he saw me, when a flicker of schadenfreude passed across his face. The once arrogant Nestor was now sweating bullets, nervously wiping his forehead with a napkin and bowing nonstop. Me, Nestor. I've always been a huge fan of Miss Alice. Oscar's voice dipped slightly, cold and slow. I didn't know you were this interested in her too. Chapter 9. Nestor didn't dare linger another second. with one nod from Oscar. He bolted like his life depended on it. I watched the show for a bit, then suddenly realized I was starving. So I booked another private room and invited Oscar to dinner. Our families had always been close, and Oscar and I basically grew up together. We used to fight like cats and dogs as kids, but things mellowed out over time. These days, though, he was always buried in work, and I was constantly away filming. Just sitting down for a proper meal together had become a rare luxury. That said, the food here was actually pretty good. I quietly focused on chewing. Oscar didn't touch his chopsticks. Instead, he stared at me. So you're just gonna use me and toss me? No explanation? Emotional mess. I was blind before. His eyes lit up. So you finally dumped that loser Oliver? Yup, broke up for good. This dinner? Totally his setup. His people are still downstairs, waiting for me to crawl back. So, I squinted and smiled. Let's head out together later, and you let me crash at your place tonight. Oscar paused. Then, loosening his tie and unbuttoning the collar of his shirt, he leaned lazily back in his chair. Sure, stay as long as you like. After dinner, we walked out side by side. A cold wind blew past, and I instinctively shivered. Oscar smoothly shrugged off his coat and draped it over my shoulders. The sudden warmth startled me. The scent of woodsy cologne filled my nose, familiar, but also a little too close. I flinched slightly, ready to back away, when he pulled me straight into his arms. Oscar lowered his voice. Didn't you say people are watching? Act the part. Right. I grinned. Damn, you're good at this. Oscar snorted and led me to his black Bugatti. Chapter 10. Oscar brought me to his luxury apartment in the city center. The place screamed money, not to mention the entire home was wired with the latest AI systems. Just hiring a designer for the soft furnishings had cost him tens of millions. And this was just one of the places he used when working near the office. I was playing with his robot dog when Oscar tossed me a set of women's loungewear. I froze mid-motion. Why do you have women's pajamas here? You have a girlfriend? Maybe I shouldn't. Oscar looked speechless. They're my sisters, brand new. I relaxed. Thanks. Then thank her. Go shower first. I happily skipped into the bathroom. By the time I finished my hot shower, my phone had already racked up dozens of missed calls. I picked up leisurely. Oliver's voice came rushing through. Where are you? Where do you think I am? You went with Oscar? Are you seriously using him to get back at me? Alice, have you lost your mind? What do you mean get back at you? I genuinely like Oscar. He's miles better than you. I heard footsteps halt behind me. Oliver went berserk. You think Oscar needs a woman like you? He'll toss you the second he's bored. Do you even know who he is? Oh, I know exactly who he is. Oliver exhaled sharply. I'm giving you 3 minutes. Come downstairs now, and I'll pretend none of this happened. I was about to respond when I heard Oscar's voice behind me. Alice, don't forget to blow dry your hair after your shower. You'll catch a cold. Oliver instantly went silent. Oscar had also just showered. The same body wash lingered in the air between us. His warm hand brushed against mine as he calmly took my phone. He sounded utterly pleased with himself. Spreading lies isn't cool. I actually do like Alice a lot. And by the way, she's my girlfriend now. You were, what's your name again? Oh well, ex-boyfriend. Let's just leave it at that. But if I hear one more word like that again, we'll have a problem. He hung up. The words my girlfriend made my ears tingle. What the hell was wrong with me? Why did this bastard suddenly seem kinda hot? Chapter 11. The female lead role in Far From Home came back to me. On the first day I joined the crew, the director was cursing under his breath. Good thing it's you. We almost had to give it to Lily, that human mannequin. Right then, Lily walked onto the set, her smile freezing mid-face. Yeah, she didn't get the lead, but she did manage to snag the second female lead. The original supporting actress, who had real skills, was bumped to third billing. And in this industry, that difference in rank means a whole lot more than just screen time. It's the difference between being remembered and forgotten. I had no patience for people like her, ignored her forced greeting and turned back to focus on my lines. Surprisingly, Oliver hadn't bothered me lately, but Oscar, claiming it was post-breakup emotional care, had taken me out to dinner several times, despite his packed schedule. Far From Home was a drama about young people trying to survive in Beijing, which meant the entire shoot was based right here in the capital. Lily had a scene on day one. Whether it was her state or lack of preparation, she NG'd over 10 times. The whole crew was frustrated. I later heard from one of the editors that Lily had tried to rewrite the script even before joining the team. If the screenwriter hadn't been so established, and the director so firm, who knows how badly she would have butchered the story. During a break, Oliver showed up. He wore a charcoal gray coat, his posture sharp and upright, with a confident gleam on his striking features. The executive producer, always quick on the uptake, rushed over to greet him. "Mr. Joel, what brings you here? Who are you here to visit?" Hearing his name, Lily instantly jumped up, throwing herself into Oliver's arms. "Oliver! Easy now, watch your step." He held her, smiling, but his eyes landed on me, full of provocation. After a bit of PDA, Oliver finally spoke. "I'm here to visit my girlfriend. Don't mind me, dinner's on me tonight." Hot pot for the whole crew. Everyone had been frustrated after Lily's endless NGs, so the energy wasn't exactly high. A few people gave half-hearted responses. "So sweet. Thanks, boss." Lily was visibly thrilled, her cheeks flushed with excitement. That's Oliver for you, when he's into someone. He knows exactly how to play it sweet and extravagant. Lily might have had her head on straight before, but under this kind of sugar-coated offensive, reason doesn't stand a chance. The director didn't even bother being polite. "You guys go ahead. I'm not coming." Oliver was about to say something when the chief producer walked in. "Hey, look at this, everyone's here. Mr. Joel too. Oscar's also joining? Sis, what are you doing here?" The chief producer clapped her hands with a smile. "Forget box lunches today. Big boss Oscar's treating the whole crew tonight." Silence fell over the room, a heavy, awkward pause. Oliver immediately shot back. "What's going on? I already said I'm treating the team. Now we're fighting over who gets to pay for dinner?" The director snorted, not hiding his disdain. "Why should we eat on your dime? What's your connection to this production?" "You." The director didn't let him finish. "Oscar just increased his investment. He's now the largest investor in Far From Home. So if anyone's footing the bill, it's him." When Oscar walked in, for a second I thought I was imagining it. No one expected him, always so busy and elusive, to just show up like this. With his powerful presence and composed demeanor, he radiated the kind of authority that made him look untouchable. Oliver, standing next to him, looked painfully inferior in every way. Oscar's gaze landed on me. He flashed a quick, playful peace sign. Childish idiot. I couldn't help but laugh. He immediately went back to business. "Pick the most expensive restaurant. I'll cover everything." Oliver's face turned dark. "You." Before he could even finish, the director clapped decisively. "Let's go. Big boss is buying tonight. I dare anyone not to come." Oliver was left fuming in silence. Lily's grin faltered too. I'd never gone public with my identity before. Oscar thought I still wanted to keep a low profile, so he'd been keeping his distance and pretending not to know me. But the next second, I stepped forward and looped my arm through his. "It's freezing. Are you coming with us to dinner?" The room froze for a beat. Everyone forgot how to react. Oscar looked down at my hand holding his arm, clearly pleased. "Of course I am." Chapter 12. Oscar had his assistant book a high-end private restaurant near the filming location. At first, everyone seemed tense, but once they realized that the legendary Oscar was actually approachable and could chat about anything, the atmosphere quickly lightened. Our table was lively and full of laughter, unlike Oliver's side, which was less than cheerful. He didn't dare sit at Oscar's table, but also didn't belong at the main one, so he ended up stuck at a side table. It looked like he'd just argued with Lily. The two sat side by side, but their faces told different stories. Oliver's expression was dark as coal, while Lily looked like she was on the verge of tears, biting her lip in frustration. A lot of crew members who'd been annoyed by Lily's attitude were clearly enjoying the show, especially the director, now sitting next to Oscar, grinning ear to ear like he'd won the lottery. Oliver, clearly bitter, couldn't take it. Sure enough, when I stepped out to take a phone call, he cornered me outside the room. I put my phone down and looked up. Something you want? He reeked of alcohol, breath heavy and hot. We used to have something real. How can you just walk away like that? Is it because he's rich? His eyes were sharp and resentful. You two were hooking up behind my back, weren't you? A wave of disgust rose in my chest. This was still the same Oliver. I once thought he was wild and carefree. A man who embodied the freedom I longed for. But now I realize something that people often say is completely true. What women often fall for isn't the man himself. It's the fantasy we build around him. And once the illusion shatters, all that's left is the truth. Ugly, rotting bones beneath the mask. He mistook my silence for guilt. His voice rose. Can he marry you? I let out a cold laugh. Can you marry me? Oliver froze. Some of the booze must have worn off instantly. He quickly tried to recover. I can give you more than just marriage. Marriage means nothing to people like us. You need to know your place. Then get the hell out of mine. Can't you see I'm with Lily just to piss you off? You two haven't slept together? That shut him up. I gave a cold chuckle and turned to leave, but he suddenly grabbed my wrist. He was drunk and angry, and his grip was tight, painful. Let go. I won't, Alice. I can't let you go. Sir, came a voice behind me. I warned you. Oscar's voice came from behind. He stepped in front of me, grabbed Oliver's wrist, and said coldly, Alice is my girlfriend. Whatever you said earlier, don't say it a second time. Oliver sobered up instantly. He looked at Oscar with a trace of fear, but still tried to act tough. You've got guts. Just you wait. Oscar had never, not since the day he was born, been told to wait. He actually found it amusing, arching an eyebrow with a half smile. Sure, I'll wait. Chapter 13. Turned out Oscar didn't have to wait. It was Oliver who broke first. Oscar's family empire spanned multiple industries, all top tier. It'd take him 2 seconds to cut off a few of Oliver's business deals. Even Oliver's dad would straighten up when meeting Oscar. But Oliver? Completely oblivious to danger. His buddy Hudson came to me privately. Can you tell your boyfriend to ease up a little? You and Oliver had something once, no need to go nuclear. When I didn't respond, he kept going with mock sincerity. Be smart. You and Oscar probably won't end up getting married. Better leave yourself a backup plan. I'm saying this as a friend, for your own good. Oh, for my good? Show me your sincerity, wire me $1 million. Hudson froze. Thanks for your concern, but save the escape routes for yourself. And tell Oliver, he'd better watch his back. My boyfriend isn't the type to play nice. That was when Oliver started to panic. I saw it clearly from what my dad said one day. The Oliver family's been trying to reach out, asking to arrange a marriage, wants to come live with us as a live-in son-in-law, clearly trying to meet you face to face. As if. But don't worry, I haven't told anyone. I'm sure you have your own plans. I teased him. Who says I have any plan? What? How can you not? Didn't you say you're coming to my birthday banquet this year? Didn't he say he's desperate to marry you? Fine. I'll invite him. Before I could say anything, I heard a crash on the other end. Damn it! I dropped the phone. Mom, delighted by the gossip, jumped in. Wait, is it true? Is it really happening? Let me get you a new phone. This is important. I need to start planning my outfit for the big day. Perfect. I'll send his family the invite soon. I smiled as Mom leaned in closer to the phone. Baby, do what you want. We're behind you. Dad echoed her. Right. If ending things with that scumbag is part of your healing, then that's the best birthday gift you could give me. My parents have always treated me well, and in any relationship, it's always the one who loves more that backs down first. I swallowed the lump in my throat and said softly, Thank you, Mom and Dad. Chapter 14. A week before Dad's birthday, I got another call from Oliver's friend Hudson, but it was Oliver speaking. He sounded drunk, smug, slurred. Alice, do you really think I'm afraid of Oscar? Sooner or later. Not just you, even he'll be taking orders from me. I almost spat out my milk. What's next? Don't look down on a poor boy. Oliver hung up furiously. The room was quiet. But Oscar had heard enough. He laughed. Sounds like someone just received your dad's party invitation. He tapped my hand lightly. Finished your milk? I'll rinse the cup. Before I could react, he was already taking it from me. I watched his back as he walked away. A few days ago, he'd said his place was closer to the filming site than my own home, and invited me to stay over. But once I moved in, I realized this man came home every single day. He even checked in to see what time I'd be back from set, just to make sure I'd always have a freshly cooked, balanced dinner waiting. I used to think Oscar wasn't the kind to fuss over daily life, but I was wrong. He wasn't like those typical workaholics. Everything in his home, from the overall design to the little trinkets on the nightstand, had his personal touch. It wasn't just a house. It was his space, built around the way he lived. I hadn't even been here 2 weeks, and he had already set up everything perfectly for me. Even the pillow height, and the fabric of the bed sheets. He had asked me about them, then personally had everything adjusted. I once read a quote: "People who are picky about their living environment tend to truly love life." The little robot dog brought me a steam eye mask. His name was Fortune, and I laughed. You even named him Fortune? That's greedy. What about leaving some luck for the rest of us? Why not ask for love, long life, peace on earth or something? Oscar paused mid-rinse of the milk cup, then casually said, "Some things aren't worth forcing. Might as well wish for something easier to get." What do you mean, not worth forcing? Wait, do you like someone already? He was quiet for a moment before replying. Yeah, I froze. Oh. I didn't notice. Don't your parents bug you about it? Oscar walked toward the living room. Since when do you care about other people's love lives? I don't, I answered lightly. It's just, we're surrounded by so many gays in this industry. I figured, if you never date anyone, maybe you're. Oscar gave a short laugh, almost amused. And the next second, he pulled me into his arms. He was solid, very solid. My nose bumped into his chest, making my eyes sting. I panicked a little. What are you doing? You got milk on you. His gaze was intense, his thumb warm as it touched the corner of my lips. You. Oscar looked down at me. His face, that impossibly handsome face. High nose bridge, deep-set eyes. When he focused on someone, it gave off an illusion of deep affection. Too close. I couldn't breathe properly. Just when I was about to break away, unable to hold his gaze any longer, he let go and stepped back, restoring a safe distance. If you're that curious, why don't you try and guess why I've never had a girlfriend? I blinked. My heart was racing out of control. Chapter 15. Dad's birthday happened to fall on a weekend. There was no filming scheduled for me that day, so I headed home early to prepare. The banquet hadn't officially started yet, but the living room was already full of guests, business partners of my family. Oscar arrived surprisingly early. He wore a fitted black 4-piece suit embroidered with subtle gold thread, gold-rimmed glasses with a delicate chain, and a fully diamond-encrusted AP wristwatch. Even his cufflinks were coordinated to perfection. Tall and broad-shouldered, he moved with a faint trail of expensive cologne. After signing the gift register with the reception team, he seamlessly began networking, exchanging contacts and making small talk over drinks. He blended right in, so at ease. It felt like this was his house. I couldn't help but think of that night, the one that left me all flustered. I pouted inwardly, like a damn peacock showing off. Just then, Mom appeared and spotted Oscar. She lit up, gave my shoulder a tap, and whispered excitedly, "He's so handsome." Then why are you hitting me? I'm trying to tell you, I've always said Oscar is way better than that Oliver. Why won't you just look at him? I was momentarily at a loss for words. Not because I hadn't seen him. It's just, we grew up together. As kids, we fought nonstop. When we got older, he quietly took on the role of taking care of me. Even my dad used to say, Oscar's like a big brother to me, watching us interact. He'd joke about gaining another son. And seriously, who gets weird feelings about their brother? Oscar wasn't free the way I was. His father had fought tooth and nail with his own siblings for the family business. No shady kids scattered around, Oscar was the only one. He was expected to take over. And he was good at it. He'd always had a natural sense for numbers. And as he got older, his decisiveness and instinct for business made him stand out. But such a huge empire wasn't easy to handle. Now, I finally understood how much pressure he'd been under all this time. He used to be so busy. I barely ever saw him. All I remembered was, back when I first got with Oliver, he drove all night to my place. Standing under the dim streetlight, I couldn't even see his face clearly. All I heard was his quiet voice. "Take care of yourself. Don't let anyone hurt you." That memory suddenly rushed back, that night I'd found so confusing. But now, it felt different. I thought I saw something else in his eyes. "What are you thinking about?" Oscar stood in front of me, his gaze behind those gold-rimmed glasses, not inspecting, but gentle. Mom had already slipped away, afraid to be cornered by the socialite aunties. She was probably hiding and having the maids report back on any gossip. Just then, noise erupted at the door. Oscar turned. "He's here." Chapter 16. Oliver walked in with his father, Kevin. Kevin had built his fortune from interior design and had ridden the real estate boom to the top. He'd made a lot of money, but was a textbook nouveau riche. No foundation, no status. Trying to mingle with true elites? Not likely. After signing the gift list at the entrance, they slowly entered the hall. Oliver looked smug, decked out in custom designer clothes. His face beamed with pride, radiating confidence. From a distance, Kevin spotted Oscar standing alone. He walked over first. "Mr. Oscar, long time no see." "Indeed, it's been a while. I heard the young lady will be showing up tonight too. You really went all out today, living up to your reputation." He looked Oscar up and down. Oscar smiled politely, but coldly. "Nothing special. We've known each other forever, childhood friends." "Is that so?" Kevin chuckled, slapping his son on the back. "My boy here has a bit of a connection with the young lady too. Oliver, say hi to Mr. Oscar." Everyone nearby reacted differently. Kevin really thought he could speak to Oscar like an equal, like some patriarch of a noble family? And Oliver, with "where did this confidence come from" energy, even gave a smug smirk. "Oscar." Oscar's voice was neutral. "Oliver. Funny. I didn't know you two had any sort of connection." Oliver raised his chin. "Well, now you do." Kevin didn't stick around, dragging Oliver off to the network, clearly trying to boost their image. But most people just gave them polite, cold smiles, trying to push them off quickly. Kevin, clueless, kept chatting as if he belonged. No one could understand why my dad even invited the Joel family. I had just finished changing into my gown, and the moment I stepped out, I ran straight into Oliver. He looked me up and down, his face froze. He instantly dragged me into a corner. "What are you doing here? Am I not allowed?" He misunderstood completely, visibly shocked. "Oscar brought you to an event like this? Do you even know where you are?" "Of course I do. Don't think coming here means you've snagged some big shot. But I heard this guy's loaded." Oliver's face darkened, then twisted. "He's like 60. Your taste is really something." I couldn't believe I ever liked this guy. Kevin glanced our way and, mistaking the situation, frowned. "Oliver. The banquet's starting." Oliver forced himself to calm down, but his eyes were cold when he looked at me. "Didn't I tell you before? Even Oscar has to play by my rules eventually. Don't come crying to me later. And don't even think about the old guy at the top. I'm not calling you stepmom someday." I laughed in disbelief. "Don't worry. Who's gonna die first is still up for debate." The banquet was about to begin. The lights dimmed, and a spotlight turned on. The center stage was decorated with flowers. My parents walked out arm in arm to give a thank you speech. I stood next to Oscar, while Oliver stood near the edge of the crowd, craning his neck to look toward the stage. And just as expected, my dad spoke. "Tonight, I'd also like to formally introduce my daughter. Everyone, please meet Miranda." Oliver's eyes lit up instantly. The crowd stirred with chatter. Those who already knew the truth began glancing in my direction. My father caught every reaction from the stage. Looking directly at me, he continued in a warm voice. "When she was young, we kept her away from the public eye to protect her. Later, she grew up, proud and stubborn. She didn't want to rely on her father. She wanted to make it on her own. And well, she's done quite a good job. Some of you probably already know her." Then he smiled and extended his hand in my direction. "Miranda, come on up." Oliver's face instantly turned pale, like he'd just been paralyzed. As he saw me smooth the fabric of my dress and step forward, his expression morphed from stunned disbelief to full-blown shock. And finally, ashen-faced, he staggered back a step, almost losing his balance. I smiled faintly and walked up. Kevin noticed Oliver's reaction and leaned over to whisper anxiously, "What's going on? Isn't that the little actress you were seeing?" Oliver's lips trembled. "No way. That's impossible. How is that possible?" Instinctively, he tried to rush toward me, but Kevin yanked him back by the arm. My dad, of course, didn't let it go. He smiled pointedly at Kevin. "Didn't your son really want to meet Miranda? Funny, I heard they already broke up. Your son said my daughter wasn't good enough for him." Kevin hurriedly tried to fix it. Misunderstanding, all a misunderstanding. But before he could finish, a sudden commotion erupted behind us. A sharp, shrill voice cut through the banquet hall. "Move! All of you! Move!" The security and reception staff rushed to block the entrance. "Ma'am, we need an invitation to let you in. Touch me and I'll strip right here and sue you all for assault. Move!" Lily burst into the hall. "Oliver! Oliver!" Oliver's face turned completely gray the second he heard her voice. He rushed over and hissed, "What the hell are you doing? Do you know what kind of event this is? They told me you came to see Miranda. You lied to me. You said you loved me. You said we'd always be together. Do you even know? I'm pregnant. What did you say?" Oliver froze, completely rattled, then snapped, "No, no way. Get rid of it. You're not keeping it." The moment those words fell, the air went dead silent. The people from Oliver's family, who already looked down on us, now wore expressions full of scorn. My dad casually signaled the waiter, "Bring out the sunflower seeds." Lily scanned the room. When her eyes landed on me, standing in the center, her face practically cracked apart. "Why you're..." My dad was so excited munching melon seeds that his hands were shaking. But he still managed to fake a disapproving expression. "What's going on here?" Kevin finally lost his cool. He looked at his devastated son and kicked him hard. "This is the mess you made." Many people at the scene knew about Oliver and me. They all whipped out their phones to start recording. Word was, the video went viral in our circle that very night. And just like that, Oliver became the laughingstock of the city. Chapter 17. When Oliver finally came to his senses, he changed SIM cards, calling me non-stop. He nearly blew up my phone. When I didn't answer, he started texting, "I'm sorry, Alice. It was all a misunderstanding. Why didn't you tell me you were Miranda? We were together for 3 years. Didn't you trust me? I'm not blaming you. Just, please, can you let me explain? Me and Lily were just trying to piss you off." She lied. She's not even pregnant. "We used to be so good, Alice. I was going to buy you that car. Remember?" I replied, "Do you think I can't afford a BMW? No, of course not. I didn't mean that. I'm downstairs. Can we talk? Please. I'm at Oscar's." Long silence. "I'll wait." Then I sent the final blow. "You don't deserve my forgiveness, Oliver. If I weren't Miranda, I'd still be on my knees begging you to return what's rightfully mine. Waiting for you to be in a good enough mood to humiliate me again. With just one finger, you can ruin a regular person's life. You've never had an ounce of respect for anyone else's fate. So no matter why you're looking for me now, I swear, keep pushing, and you'll just die faster." After that, Oliver finally shut up. Roma came to pick me up for the film set. She peeked at me through the rearview mirror a few times, then cautiously asked, "Sis, I heard a rumor. Is it true? You're Miranda?" I was reading a script. Didn't even look up. "Yeah." Roma immediately burst into tears. "Me? What's wrong?" I was always worried you'd get bullied. That time I dropped you off at the hotel. I wanted to tell you not to go, but you wouldn't listen. Do you even know how long I waited downstairs that night? I only left when you texted me that you were safe." My heart softened. Okay, don't cry." Roma sniffled and whispered, "You've always been so kind to me. Ever since I started working with you, no one's dared to mess with me." I gave her a promise. and they never will. I headed off to makeup. When I arrived on set after getting ready, the director was already exploding. If you don't want to film, then don't. You've NG'd the scene 20 times already. It's freezing cold. The entire crew is out here suffering with you, and you're still wasting everyone's time? What about them? Lily already looked like a wreck these days. Now, her face was downright ugly. Who the hell do you think you are? Yelling at me? You're nothing. The director's face turned red from rage. You, the third female lead, Virginia, finally spoke up. We're all here to work. How can you talk to people like that? No acting skills. No professionalism. Everyone knows how you got this role. Say that again if you dare. Virginia opened her mouth to speak, but seeing all the staff silently waiting, she backed down. But Lily wasn't done. I replaced you as the third lead, and I can get you kicked off the set. Virginia was clearly triggered. She threw the script down in frustration. Fine. I'll quit. Bet sleeping your way up feels great. Huh? You're just another pawn helping those men pollute the entire industry. Lily lost it. Shut up. I said shut up. She raised her hand, and I caught it midair. I work out regularly. Lifting Lily, who's one of those pure skinny by starvation types, was nothing. She couldn't shake me off. Her eyes turned red with frustration. Through gritted teeth, she snapped. Alice, I really thought you made it on your own. Turns out it's just because you've got connections. How you see the world depends on what kind of person you are. Instead of obsessing over me, maybe work on your acting. And while you're at it, try being a decent human being. Pfft, sounds nice coming from you. Lily flung her arm away and slumped into the actor's chair. She refused to film. It was winter in Beijing, below freezing. The scene had taken a ton of prep, from set design to coordinating cast and crew. The last thing you want is an unprofessional diva. Everyone clenched their fists in quiet fury. I asked Roma to get hot water bottles and milk tea for everyone. The director and production manager scrambled to reshuffle the schedule, pushing Lily's scenes back. Virginia hesitated, then came over to thank me. She glanced at Lily, who shot her a venomous look. I don't know your whole deal, but she's definitely not what she pretends to be. Be careful. I accepted her concern with a nod. Don't worry, I will. Chapter 18. As it turns out, Virginia was right. The very next day, a video of me bullying a colleague and stealing her role went viral on social media. Lily had clearly gone all in, when no PR firm would take her money. She paid out of pocket to break the story herself. The clip showed me pulling Lily by the arm the day before. The audio had been removed, without sound. I looked aggressive and violent, while Lily appeared like some innocent little bunny. But that wasn't all. She also somehow got her hands on the old photo of me, being summoned by Oliver to Nestor's VIP suite. She was being smart about this, testing the waters first with some mudslinging, knowing I didn't want to expose my real identity publicly. That way, even if I did decide to go public later, the narrative would be twisted. Powerful rich girl using family connections to bully others in the industry. Sure enough, the justice warriors of the internet came rushing in. WTF? Bullying people right on set now? She looked so hardworking before. Can't believe it was all fake. How is this news? Didn't she try to latch onto Oliver before and failed? Internet never forgets. No wonder she's rising so fast. Sugar daddies everywhere. New one steps in before the last is gone, faster than a bullet train. Poor working girls. Poor Lily. Anyone remember the rumors that Lily was the original female lead for Far From Home? After that comment, Lily's fans came flooding in, devastated. Having a sugar daddy gives you the right to snatch someone else's role? Seriously? My poor Lily, she really works so hard. This industry is rotten to the core. No wonder good people feel hopeless. Alice, get out of showbiz. No way someone that young wins Best Actress without sleeping around. I posted the VIP room video on my profile, full proof. Alice, get out here and apologize. Roma was furious. She quickly calmed down the fanbase, reassured our brand partners, and immediately got in touch with our PR team. When the agent wouldn't answer, Roma took a deep breath and said, "Whatever. If they won't help, I'll handle it myself." Before I could say anything, She had already spun around and started gathering evidence, watching her walk away. I felt a little dazed. The teary, self-doubting girl I once knew was long gone. She had grown into someone steady, capable, and strong. Things quieted down. We hadn't finished filming for the day. Most people on set had already seen the news online, and many were clearly upset. The director looked especially grim. But after a few words from Roma, he calmed down. He came over, patted me on the shoulder, and said he'd cooperate with our PR efforts. Even though I knew not to read the comments, my chest still felt heavy, because that's how public opinion works. Once enough people start talking, the truth gets buried in noise, fact or fiction all tangled together. Some people don't even care about the truth. They just want to vent. And whoever's caught in the middle becomes the perfect target. Under the spotlight, flaws aren't allowed. The truth doesn't matter. The process doesn't matter. Only the result does. All I can do is focus on what's in my control, do my part, and keep a clear conscience. Chapter 19. Tonight was a night shoot. Props and set design were still preparing. Filming wouldn't start for a while. I hid behind the production van and lit a cigarette. As the smoke curled upward, my mind slowly settled. It hit me just then. Today was Christmas Eve. No new messages on my phone. Oscar was out of town on a business trip. No one asking what I wanted for dinner. No one asking when I'd be home. It was only then, standing in the cold wind, that I realized how terrifying habit could be. In moments like this, I just wanted to hear Oscar's voice. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. I stared at the caller ID, stunned, then remembered to pick up. Where are you? On set, shooting. Why? I saw what's going around online. He paused. Are you okay? My nose suddenly stung. I'm fine. If you're fine, why did you smoke so much? I froze. A thought, impossible, flashed through my mind, and the next second, I turned around and ran straight into a familiar chest. He was still wearing his crisp business suit under a wind-cutting coat. In Beijing's freezing winter, it looked too thin, but his body was burning warm. I blinked. Oscar? What are you? Then it hit me. You came back from Tianjin? Yeah, I was worried. Just wanted to check on you. My throat tightened. There are some people who can make all your walls crumble the second you see them, make you feel like a kid again. Like all you want to do is cry. Worried. Huh? I looked up at him, worried enough to rush back in the middle of the night. Oscar was quiet for a second, then sighed. Yeah, that worried. I stared at him, eyes brimming. If I cried now, my makeup would smudge. I'd have to redo it. Oscar's thumb brushed gently under my eye. Are you crying? My voice came out stuffy. No, I'm not. When I see you hurting, I just want to destroy every single one of them. I'm not allowed to be sad. No one gets to make you sad. I don't know why, but suddenly, I remembered that look he gave me years ago, and just now, I think I finally understood what it meant. Oscar, why are you always around? What? Do you like me or something? He stayed silent for a long time. The night wind brushed past his eyes, making them damp, softening his usual sharpness and precision. The man who was always decisive now hesitated. His lips parted, but instead of speaking, he wrapped me in his coat. Warmth swallowed me in an instant. His chest trembled as he spoke. Yeah, I like you. I really, really like you. And I was scared that if I looked away for a second, you'd run off with someone else again. His cold fingers gradually melted into warmth. Our scents intertwined. He looked at me like I was the most important person in the world. Miranda, can I have a chance? My heart felt lighter, like it had wings. I tiptoed up, kissed the corner of his lips, and whispered, okay. Chapter 20. I wasn't planning on swallowing this drama silently. The next morning, Roma brought me the statement she had stayed up all night preparing with the PR team. It was thorough, well organized. Clearly not something the PR team had written alone. Roma, from now on, you're my manager. She looked shocked, eyes red, staring at me. Alice. You really mean it? You're scared you won't do well? Back when we first worked together, Roma had just graduated. She wasn't someone with high tolerance for mistakes, and could be quite sharp-tongued at times. She didn't put much effort into mentoring junior staff, and often threw others under the bus. I didn't complain or demand a new manager, because deep down I believed lots of newcomers in showbiz face terrible reps like that. So why should I be an exception? But Roma was different. She was the only one who treated me with genuine care, so I supported her in return, watching her grow, watching her learn, watching her finally stand on her own. Now, she looked straight at me, full of resolve. No, I'll do great. We'll go even farther, together. After reviewing the statement one last time, she finally hit publish. The post was brief, but powerful. I don't need a sugar daddy. My real dad is already a badass. Hi everyone. Let me reintroduce myself. Alice is just my stage name. My real name is Miranda. I posted a photo from the banquet, a shot of me standing beside my parents. Dad may have kept a low profile in recent years, but he used to be a regular face at charity galas and economic forums. Plenty of people recognized him. So the moment I shared that photo, the internet exploded. From the moment I entered this industry, I've never stolen anyone's role through shady means. Every part I've played, I earned through hard work, auditioning, fighting for opportunities. I've never cared about billing order. Never cared whether I had many lines or few. I believe there are no small roles, only small actors. I've always had deep respect for this industry. Any success I've had came from a mix of effort and luck, and I'm sincerely grateful for the support I've received. Attached below is proof. As for the false accusations circulating online, I reserve the right to pursue legal action. I attached every single audition email from my early years, spanning more than a dozen pages. There were rejections, and more rejections. There were also behind-the-scenes clips from when I was just a nameless extra. All of it, painstakingly compiled overnight by Roma, and I had once played the sixth female lead in a major director's film. The role had few lines, but it was all action scenes. The audience might have only seen a few minutes, but we spent days filming each one. The director was strict, no camera tricks, no body doubles. I collapsed on set during one of the scenes. Photos of the defibrillator they used on me still exist online. That role was what first caught the attention of serious filmmakers, and that's when I really began to be seen. My fans had been camping on Weibo, and now they released a video montage of my entire growth journey. Clips cut together with music, then their unwavering love and support written at the end. Roma was glued to her screen, eyes red. Public opinion flipped instantly. Now Lily was the one drowning in backlash. I said to wait and see. Alice brought receipts. Meanwhile, Lily's side? Flimsy. I knew it. She was worth standing. Wait. Her family's that loaded? Doesn't feel like a rich kid. So what if she's rich? That's not a sin. Maybe that's why she could pursue acting purely. If all rich second-gen actors were like her, we'd be lucky. She really works hard. My friend worked with her once. She's amazing and so nice in person. Virginia was the first to repost and speak up. The director followed, fuming. There was never any stealing of roles. If anything, Alice's lead role almost got snatched by Lily. The director didn't muzzle the team either. Many stepped up to post under their real names. Alice wasn't anything like the internet claimed. It was Lily who threw her weight around. Alice just stepped in to clean up the mess. Even directors I'd worked with in the past, even crew members I'd only shared a few words or a cup of milk tea with, they all came forward. This world, this industry, yes, it has its dark corners, but I still believe sincerity can be felt, and a spark, once ignited, can light the sky. Mom had never realized how dangerous acting could be. She cried quietly at home for a long time. Dad, meanwhile, called to remind me over and over, health and safety always come first. Oscar? He pinned me to the couch and kissed me breathless. Like if he let go even for a second, I'd vanish. And finally, I requested the production team remove Lily from the cast. I'll take full responsibility for any losses. If our team ends up joining another project later, we'll settle payments on schedule, plus compensation. As stated in the contract, Just let me know in advance. I'll cover any switching costs. My dad's so rich he could probably buy a country. No one dares mess with me. Oscar raised a brow. Didn't you used to insist on never asking your family for help? Hugging a pillow. I thought for a long moment before replying. If I weren't born into a rich family, if I hadn't known you since we were kids, then this whole thing would have been hopeless. I'd have just had to swallow the injustice. But why should I? I could lose job opportunities. I could, like Virginia, disappear into obscurity just because I don't have connections. Because I dated the wrong person. Because I pissed off a loser. I used to be determined to earn everything on my own. But now I'm thinking, so what if I did? Even with luck and effort, I still can't change the system. Why should I keep playing by rules set by people before me? When the game was already rigged? Isn't that just enabling the rot? I don't want to see more talented people shut out or forced to bow down. Why should they be? If I want to create good work, then maybe I should be the one writing the rules. And you know what? I can. We don't get to choose our blessings or burdens. I just happen to be born lucky, so I might as well use it to do something good, so the world doesn't end up ruled by people I hate. Silence fell between us. Oscar's eyes sparkled. He lowered his head and kissed me. My cheeks flushed. I pressed a hand to his chest. What are you doing? Kissing you. What? I'm not allowed? No. I mean, before I could finish. He'd pinned me to the couch. Oscar was clearly in a good mood. He leaned in close to my ear and chuckled. You're trembling. By the way, did you hear about Oliver's family? Do you have to ruin the mood like this? Oscar's laughter rumbled through his chest. What happened? They ran into money trouble. His dad's still trying to fix it. But Oliver panicked. So he laundered money for an overseas scam ring. Now he's under investigation. Oh, you don't seem to care. Should I? Oscar lowered his head to look at me. No, I don't want you to. I'm not done. Can we continue? His fingers were rough, calloused, and right now, that touch felt sharper than ever. The night flowed like a galaxy, and we became stars, nestled together. The future is long. All we have to do is keep walking, bravely.